I posted a compilation of all my viral pitas. So I had just hit 1 million that day. And I posted this compilation video and it went berserk. I woke up on Tuesday morning. So I posted on Sunday. I woke up on Tuesday morning with 1.1 million followers. And then I woke up literally, I think the next morning to 1.2. It didn't stop. For about a week, I grew to 1.8 million in like 10 days.
You're listening to Food Empires by Grocer's List. I'm your host, Ben Jabawi.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back. We are here with another episode of Food Empires. Your hair looks great. Don't worry about it.
It really doesn't, Ben. That's okay, though. This is what you get for doing treadmill before you go on a podcast. Oh,
it's
goodness.
Great. I'm just psyched to be here. Food by Maria. I'm here with Maria Koutsogiannis.
Yeah, Koutsogiannis.
Koutsogiannis. Okay.
You're good. You did great. You did
All
great.
Right, cool. And she's the founder and creator behind Food by Maria. We're going to hear all about that. Millions of followers, maybe the best olive oil out there, a new product launch in honey. There's so much to chat about, but thanks for coming on, Maria.
Thank you for having me. And so glad you love juice. Truly, not maybe the best. In my opinion, it is the best.
It's amazing. It's truly amazing. I mean, the glass bottle, like there's so much to talk about. But we've really been enjoying it, my wife and I. So I feel like I met you. I mean, you've been a customer for a little bit, but I met you. You already had 2 million followers.
Yes.
So
I want to say that would have been, was that like April of 24?
Yeah. And I'll never forget our interaction. It was funny. Your tech guy, Mike Z, was like, is this a legit business? Anyways, we don't need to get into that. But let's like rewind, right? Because now I think you're pushing 3 million followers on Instagram.
No, I wish I was. I'm at 2.5.
Okay. 2.5, whatever. Rounding up.
We're grateful. But the landscape of Instagram has changed tremendously. And I feel like right now, the deep focus is like curating a following that feels very aligned and like in tune with you versus chasing numbers right now. And that's sort of what Instagram is, right? It's ebbing and flowing with the trends and, I don't know, changes that we see on the platform.
I get it. Yeah. There have been a lot. Everything feels a little bit different lately.
It never ends.
But let's go back to the beginning. Like how you started at zero. What was the idea originally? Like, how'd you get into all this?
For sure. Yeah, it's a funny story. So obviously, when you're little and someone asks you what you want to do when you grow up, you don't immediately say food content creator, recipe developer. I mean, I had dreams when I was young to be a pediatrician. So this was very much just very different and sort of out of scope for me. But essentially, when I was 18, I was forced to go to university by my immigrant parents, and I chose business as sort of like the gateway, as every child does. And I ended up graduating university with a major in accounting with some minors in finance and econ. I really am just a numbers person, and I kind of like data and just, it's funny because I'm like a quirky, outgoing person, but I really just like numbers and analyzing things. And I feel like because I have a bit of OCD, it was very much perfect for me. But while I was in university, I think this was a direct reflection of my unhappiness. As much as I loved numbers and the accounting fulfilled the OCD and it just helped check every little mark off the checklist, I think it was not even like 3 months into university, I developed an eating disorder, and I was very unhappy in myself and just everything I did for a really long time. It wasn't till I moved to the UK, and if we rewind a couple months before that, I ended up meeting my husband in Thailand, who's British, and I graduated university and we ended up moving to the UK, where I pursued a very short career in accounting in London and then in a few other locations just south of London. And I was miserable. I hated it. Sometimes I would just be like, one of these red buses should just hit me.
Oh, no.
I just
my God.
did not enjoy, I just was not in a good place with that. And I feel like for me, it wasn't that, like, you don't hope for something to come in and change your life. I just feel like I was so upset with myself because I knew the direction I should have been going in. And I've always known that food was my calling.
Hmm.
When I was studying at home during university, I'd have the Food Network on, Guy Fieri, Ina Garten. They're all
Your
my like,
peeps.
oh gee, they're my people. And I think it's Fieri. I always say Fieri.
It
And
is.
no bueno, Maria. It's Fieri. And it was always just like the Food Network. And I've always known who I was. And I
Wow.
just ignored that because of what my immigrant scarcity chasing family needed.
So were you cooking with your mom growing up, or who was it?
So that's another funny thing. Not really. I was an observer and I would help, of course, and I would be tasked to peel the garlic, cut the onions, um, roll the dolmades,
Oh, wow.
like very much involved, but not like it was kind of like a chore, and I'm like, lady, can I just go and do my shit? Like, you
Yeah.
want to teach me to do like, and I'll help you, but this isn't my place. And I think it was because I didn't know at that time that's what I liked. I think I was just a child having fun. And chores were not my thing. I wanted to be outside, putting ladybugs in jars and bike riding and doing like
Yeah.
the kitchen was somewhere I ate, but I knew I loved food.
Wow.
But then when I got to the UK and I was not happy, I eventually came out of the eating disorder and I was diagnosed with IBS shortly after. And after I got the diagnosis, they provided me with this like list of things you couldn't, like you can and cannot eat. And I was like, this feels like a restrictive diet to begin with. This is not going to work for me. So that's where Food by Maria was born. But it was kind of like using my personal Instagram account by way of pre-birth Food by Maria. So I would start posting meals on my personal account of what I was eating to sort of document what I was eating. And it was fun. And I was like, all right, okay, this ingredient maybe didn't make me feel so good. Maybe the doctor's right. Maybe I shouldn't be eating hummus. And it
Yeah.
eventually became pretty clear that like I could consistently incorporate food content into my personal profile. So why not start a new account? So I started Food by Maria from the basement of our Bromley condo, or like flat, whatever you want to call it. And I started Food by Maria. I think I want to say it was in maybe like January of 2014, because I didn't
Oh,
start
wow.
foodbymaria.com until October 1st, 2015. And then I think I sat at like 1,000 followers for like 2 years. And then it wasn't till December of 2015 where it like totally started to
Interesting.
grow. And it went from 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers. And literally with like a flick of a finger, 50,000. And then it was 100. And then we got to 250 and I sort of tapped out for a bit. It was like I had reached this glass ceiling that I didn't think could exist, but we sat there for a really long time and I had to reflect a lot, but I can go into that. But basically, that is how Food by Maria was born. It was born out of kind of realigning with who I really was and who I knew I was forever, but just
So
chose to not.
so cool
Chose to
that
not.
you kind of recognize in yourself that something big needed to change. I give you a lot of credit for that, especially in an immigrant family. It's hard to kind of break the path. Um,
100%.
I definitely know that well, but you said you were stuck for a little while at 1,000 followers. At that time, how did you know there was possibility here as a business? Like, who were you looking at? I mean, Food
Oh, I
Network's
don't
Food
know.
Network, but at the time you
Yeah.
were just Maria.
So at 1,000 followers, it was like OG people that I don't think anyone in my space now would know, but it was a lot of vegan, vegetarian
Mm,
friends that I've made in the UK. But I mean, not to sound super cheesy, but I think I've been very good at listening to my gut, other than, that very long period of my life where I didn't. I knew that if I was going to make this shift, I was going to make it work. I could see people like Food Network, Bon Appetit, Food and Wine, Food 52. They were all around, Whole Foods. You'd get DMs from Whole Foods. It's like, hey, reply with yes if we can repost this recipe on our feed.
oh,
And it was like,
interesting.
oh my god. And you'd
Yeah,
like
yeah,
lose your mind when Whole Foods would DM you, or you'd get a DM from another publication and they'd ask you if they could republish your content, and you'd essentially shit yourself out of pure excitement, and it literally would convert nothing,
yeah.
but it would totally skyrocket your followers. Like
Interesting.
back in the day, people were and they still are. You just have to have like the perfect special sauce. But it was pretty fantastic. But I don't remember who I really had to look up to. I think I've always been a little delulu. Like I'm still convinced I'm going to be Greek Ina Garten.
Well, I think you kind of are. Maybe you don't
Well,
feel that way, but to the rest of us, it feels that way.
and I love that. But I think there's always been this saying that I always butcher and I can't remember it. It's something along the lines of like, be naive enough to think that you can't, but be delusional enough to know that you can, or something.
I like
Does that
that.
make sense? But
I
it's
like that.
basically the idea of, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I think when you're so miserable in something, that when you choose something else and it yields nothing. I was making no money. I was a waitress while I was doing Food
Oh,
by
wow.
Maria. And when I finally quit my job, I was making $800 a month.
Wow.
So I had to just take a leap of faith. And I knew that the 800 could cover our rent. And then I figured that I would work my ass off to cover the rest.
In startup land, we call it jumping out of the plane and building the parachute on the way down.
Basically, I used to just say I dove in head first and I figured out how to swim.
Which is, I actually would say that sometimes it's better if you don't know what's on the other side and what it really
Yeah.
takes.
Mm-hmm.
But here you are. So, all right. So you said something early on. There was like a moment where you went from 10 to 50 to
Oh,
250.
right,
Was
right.
there like a recipe? Can you take it back to
No,
a single recipe?
No, the internet didn't work like that back then. It was just like a static post would get like 10,000 likes.
Hmm.
And it would be like quite
Yeah.
literally an oatmeal bowl.
Yeah. It was like just so new, the
Yeah,
concept.
and
Yeah.
I think the internet was just so engaged. And similar to now, you're like up and coming, like food, but who's Food by Maria? Let's follow. Like
Yeah.
Instagram just ebbs and flows, and I feel like you're either the it person on Instagram or you're not, and then you'll come back again. It just really rotates through things, I find.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what the real I can't so back in the day you used to post other people's profiles and then so like let's say I posted Lexi's recipe photo and I would say, look at this beautiful recipe from Lexi, like go follow her. So
Oh,
people would do that. So people would post all your stuff and then you'd post theirs and then it would grow it
you
was
post in the
interesting.
feed or in stories?
Everywhere in feed. I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
It
it
was
was like
just the community was really like helping each other.
and in feed all the time. And it would garner
Wow.
a lot of followers.
That's wild.
Yeah, and like I think the whole republishing thing was huge too. Like if Whole Foods posted you,
Yeah.
people would actually follow. But the platform was so new. I remember I'd be waitressing on the floor and I had my phone in my pouch and I'd go to the bathroom and literally watch my followers grow by like hundreds a minute.
That's amazing.
It was so
So
cool.
you mentioned your visions to become the Greek Ina Garden. Like if I'm sitting here as a follower of yours and to me it feels like you're there, what does that actually mean to you?
I guess to me, it would just mean a shift in the way that I operate my business. So to me, when I look at someone like Ina, she doesn't necessarily work with brand partnerships consistently to maintain and manage her business. I would look at her as someone who has several, if not, empires and like Martha Stewart included, or Giada, Nigella, all the females in our space. They have products that create like an umbrella for them and earn for them. I would also say, obviously, TV show, or at least a method of long form that isn't YouTube.
Yeah.
The only reason I say that is because I don't have the mental capacity right now. I would also say that cookbooks is very helpful because they published more than 10. It's very
Yeah.
much a business in a way where it's just a household name. Not to say that
Mm.
Food by Maria isn't, but sometimes social media just feels like this really great place where you can connect with people, but I'm just looking for a place where I can elevate my brand that feels more like a business versus like a year to year sort of like you're constantly having to change your business plan based off social media.
Yeah. All right.
Not to say that social media is bad. I love my long-term partners. I love working with clients. But I think in order for me to eventually have a family and live a different life, even remotely off socials, let's say 30% more
Yeah.
off socials, things have to shift. And I think I'm probably not wording it the right way, but I think if another creator was on this call, they'd be able to explain it in a way that just feels like you take your job so seriously and you want that for yourself. And the best way to explain it is just becoming a household name where your brand works for you and you don't have to work for others.
No, I think that's perfect, and I totally
Yeah.
get it. I mean, look, I've
Yeah.
seen you this year launch products. You know, you've launched an app, you've got long-term brand partners. So I think you're well on your way. Let's talk about rolling out your first product because I know that that's, you know, comes from a product that you've known and loved for a while. Like what is that product? Why did you feel like right now is the time? And
Yeah.
let's get into like how you went about it.
Yeah, of course. So it was obviously a no-brainer when Damien, the gentleman who helps me, he's Greek, he emailed me with an opportunity to create olive oil. And he does it himself, with his own brand. And he reached out and was like, hey, you're the perfect fit. How can I help you create your own brand? Since I already have access to all of the knowledge, I can help you source the olives. I can make sure that everything happens in our warehouse and we use our factory. No, wow, I'm blanking on the name. Where the olives actually get pressed and
Pressed.
cleaned
Yeah,
and yes,
sure, sure.
everything. So he reached out and I was like, this is a no-brainer. I mean, it's either Greek yogurt, it's feta, or it's olive oil. So it was very aligned. And it was really exciting. It's obviously incredibly frightening because you're putting yourself out there in so much more of a way, to be scrutinized and to be judged and for people to tell you that they do or they don't like the product. It's been really fulfilling. I would say one of the factors that actually allowed me to do this is capital. I am grateful that Food by Maria has grown in a way where I'm able to buy the stock and obviously have the warehouse to hold the
Yeah,
stock, and you have to pay for everything in advance, right? And it sits on the
right.
shelf and it sells. So a lot
And
of
you
it
took
just
on no outside investment for this.
no,
So
no.
that's a big part of timing is you've scaled Food by Maria to a spot where you can actually do this.
100%. And I also think that between the shift of having 250,000 followers to 2.5 million, the thing that changed was that I sort of abandoned ship with being a vegan veg recipe creator because I was no longer eating that way. So I went online one day in 2023 in June and I said, hey guys, there's going to be a little bit of a change. I am realigning with my roots and I'm going to share more of who I am and my Greek heritage. And the
Mm.
moment I did that, it's been the best decision I honestly could have ever made. So I'm so grateful. I had the help of Lexi from Crowded Kitchen. She basically took me under her wings and she was like, hey, these are the transitions and changes I've made to my platform since, everything has changed and you should start implementing them too. And then Food by Maria went from, I think we started the series All Things Greek the summer of 2023. And it was a slow start, but I didn't give up because they were just such exciting, fun recipes for me to share. By the fall, I think we started seeing traction in like October. By the time Guy's Grocery Games launched, I think I was at like 500 or 600,000 followers. And then by that spring, I was at 2.2 million.
That's
It
wild.
happened fast, which some would argue is not good and some would argue it's good. It depends on how you see it.
I mean, I don't know why that would be bad as long as you're committed and consistent with content that's going to keep
For
them.
sure. I just think there are some things that you can't control. So, for example, and I promise I'll go back to what we were saying before about the olive oil and how this kind of lines up, but um, it was a Super Bowl Sunday on whatever year in 2024, and I posted a compilation of all my viral pitas. I think it was the spanakopita, the buffalo, the garlic, and like the chicken one. And it was just a quick 17-second compilation video. So I had just hit 1 million that day.
Mm.
And I posted this compilation video and it went berserk.
Wow.
I woke up on Tuesday morning. So I posted on Sunday. I woke up on Tuesday morning with 1.1 million followers. I woke up literally, I think the next morning to 1.2. It didn't stop. For about a week, I grew to 1.8 million in like 10 days. So that's where I would say it's a little dodge. Because then if you look, you're not sure where your followers are coming from.
Sure.
So it can sometimes have his advantages and it can sometimes have its disadvantages because I simply cannot control which countries are following me and why that can sometimes be bad. I'm blessed. It hasn't impacted my business, but let's just say I get an increase of 10% people who follow me from the UK.
Sure.
That's going to skew my data analytics. And, my partners are going to be like, we would prefer this. So it's like, it's interesting. And then when you gain that many followers at once, it's like, what is it? 8 football stadiums? Like, how are you supposed to keep them engaged? How are they supposed to learn who you are learn who you are and what you stand for so quickly? You really have to so it was just a lot of things all at once that were very overwhelming, but clearly shifting to all things Greek was the correct decision, which brings me to the point. I was already focused on all things Greek. Greek is now who I am, Mediterranean, Blue Zone, healthy, without the bullshit of healthy.
Yeah.
So olive oil just made sense. And I mean, I share loads of videos online of juice and Food by Maria and why I do this, but I grew up with my parents ordering barrels and barrels and barrels of olive oil fresh every year. Like, I think we would get, I don't know how much comes in like a full deneke, like a giant, I don't know, like this massive thing that you hold and it like breaks your back. I think it has like 16 liters of olive oil in it.
Yeah.
And we would go through like 5 of those a year. So it made sense for me. Like, olive oil is in my blood. It's not something I'm afraid of. It's not something I've ever known to just not belong in a meal beautifully. So it made sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many details about the product that stand out, but I think it's amazing. Like, I hope you can appreciate going from accounting to looking at some of these photos. Like, look at how much fun you're having,
Definitely.
Like, you can just
It's
tell
pretty
there's
cool.
so much pride. Yeah. So, all right. So you go through the process. You're testing different iterations of this, the branding, like who did the branding for you?
Yeah. So her name's Caitlin. She's from my hometown. She's been doing the branding for Food by Maria for over a decade. She's the lady who launched Food by Maria with me back in 2015. I came to her with the idea. A lady on my team, who I can't disclose what she does on my team, but she came up with the name Juice because we were talking about, I was like, I think I was saying something like, hit it with a bit of just zhuzh it up with some, I was like, hit it with the juice. And she's like, juice. She's like, it has to be juice. Like, it just makes sense. And it was funny because when we first launched, people were like, I thought it was juice. I'm like, no, please don't get confused. But no, the idea to me is like, you drink juice and this is my juice. Like, this belongs on everything. This belongs on the table with every meal.
And now, I mean, I'm seeing it in recipe reels, not from you, but from other people.
Yeah, I know. That's the coolest part.
Which is, I mean, it's something you can try to seed, obviously, in the beginning, but you launched almost 6 months ago, and I'm still seeing that happen regularly. It's amazing.
It is challenging though to convince people, and I use the word convince because it's not a vanity product and it's not a low-end, low-budget product either. So it's very much trying to convince people, A, that fats shouldn't be demonized and that olive oil is in fact so good for you and something I've grown up on. And, the Mediterranean diet isn't just a fad. It's been around for ages and that's why it reigns supreme. But then on top of that, it's so much harder to, if I told you that I could buy a lip gloss that would make your lips look better, whatever we want these days, no brainer, no freaking brainer. But because you can't always see the direct benefits of something like this with the price point attached to it, it's just continuing to be like, your Greek mommy loves this, and that's why people buy it. But it's been a really interesting process.
But is that your audience? or is it people that like already understand they should be investing in these things?
100%. And that's totally what I agree. I agree with that. I think I just am way too hard on myself. And I think that everyone should be buying it. But I always have to
Yeah.
remind myself that there's a select niche of who
Yeah.
will want to buy this and then just let them buy it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll include a link when we send this out
Thank you so
to
much. Thank
to
you.
to the
But you know
store.
what I mean, right? Like it's not a beautiful, it's not like a cookie recipe and it's
Yeah.
not a frozen pizza or it's not like a,
It's a premium consumable.
yeah, it's not a premixed alcohol. Like it's very much niche in its way where it's perfect because it's incredibly aligned. I just think it's just like it's exciting because I've been faced with challenges and I'm learning and
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Yeah.
So let's talk about how you launch and promote a product like this, right? Okay, so maybe you're at 2 million followers. You got the site ready. You're ready to go. Like, how do you start this process, and how do you, with everything you have going on, continue to actively promote a product once it's launched?
So let me be clear. Q4 was very challenging. I think I probably talked about juice maybe once because the market is so saturated. And you're probably thinking, why the hell did you only talk about it once during the craziest time of year? I was so busy with my partners and like my brand partnerships where I just felt like I didn't want to be another voice in the crowd, totally pushing things down people's throats. And it's so funny in hindsight now, I feel like prioritizing things differently would have been beneficial. But where I'm going with this is you just have to be really intelligent about when you're talking about it and how you're doing it. First and foremost, hire a mic. Mike and my sister have helped so much with my Shopify store and getting the website up and going. Caitlin obviously got the branding going. But at the end of the day, show up on stories, share the product with friends, share it with love. It's very easy for me because obviously I'm in the food and recipe development space. So I'm allowed to use juice whenever and however I want in my reels consistently. So that's super helpful. And then another thing that was really helpful was kind of just like aligning with the story of it. So I'll share content from Greece and at the factory and collecting the olives and cleaning the olives and then removing any impurities in the olives and then, the cold pressing process. And it's a whole storytelling opportunity. And I think it further aligns. I always think it's really exciting when you see someone selling something from where they're actually from. I think that's fun. I can't imagine selling an Italian olive oil. Nothing against Italian olive oils, but it just further really sealed the deal from my story and who I am. So I feel like not only is the storytelling easy, but it's also kind of completing some of the puzzle pieces. But at the end of the day, I would say you create the branding and the name, you get the production up and going. And this, I'm very much point forming this
Sure,
friend.
sure.
And then you get like the Shopify site going and live and you make sure all the products are inputted. And then what I did is probably not what someone else would have done, but I get really anxious about things like this because I just don't want to become attached to expectations because I know what I'm like and I'm incredibly hard on myself. So I very much soft launched olive oil. Juice, literally one morning I woke up and I said, we're launching. I posted it in stories and I said, introducing juice. I created like, there was no like, there's something coming tomorrow. This, like,
Yeah.
I couldn't. The expectation just had me feeling sick. Like, I was making it be too serious. And then I had sent it to some of my amazing friends in the industry and they so kindly shared it. And I really think that helped with the momentum. Moving forward, when I have more capacity, I would love to have a proper marketing campaign and have like affiliate links for people to be sharing and grow the product list and really just turn it into something. But I always remind myself that we all start somewhere. And I feel like right now it's just about, people trying the amazing product and falling in love with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about getting it in their hands for the first time,
100%.
So clearly it's gone well, at least from the sideline, well enough to get you investing in launching a second product, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what's that all about? Like, how did you decide to expand?
So with honey, we just decided that it made sense because from a brand standpoint, if they're already on the website shopping for olive oil, you're always looking for different opportunities to purchase like a different SKU as an upsell. And I didn't just decide on honey because I wanted to make more money, but the high quality opportunity of Greek pine honey was there. So we bottled a couple as a test to see
Mm,
how it was like would do and if people would like it. And so far, so good. And it's been really nice to see the website. Someone purchases a bottle of olive oil and then they upsell with some honey. And I think it's great because this really puts us in a situation where possibly we could start with like a vinegar and then essentially you have like a dressing. So I feel like it's just a really well curated line that I'm trying to fabricate without it turning into quality quantity over quality because the quality of the honey is truly unmatched. We call them nomadic bees. They travel around Greece 24/7 and they're always busy. Bees love to work, and we're actually working on a really beautiful sort of animation of their story.
cool.
And the bees live great lives and they're constantly working. And pine honey is obviously from pine, so it's just a unique flavor. It's raw, filled with vitamins. It's so good for you. It's what I grew up on, having it on Greek yogurt. So it just felt like it made sense. I know when you think of Greek ingredients, you don't necessarily think of honey, but to me, it's one of the first things I think about. Like we would pull over going from village to village from my mom's to my dad's, and in the Vounon, the cliffs and the mountains, there's pine or there's honey beekeepers, and there would just be so many beautiful varieties. And to have something that tastes of that quality available for sale in America, I think is pretty cool.
It's awesome. I have so much respect for what you said about just kind of getting it out there. I think
Yeah,
that I'm
I refuse.
surprised.
I
Well, I'm
refuse.
actually surprised to hear you say that because most people at 2 million plus are going to be a lot more reserved about testing things.
Oh, okay.
But I think the fact that you're just like, hey, let's just put it up on the site and see if there's demand for it and then improve and expand. Like that's such a entrepreneurial spirit that
I
sometimes
just
people
can't
lose when they get
overthink
this big.
things.
Yeah.
I just can't overthink things. But my rule is never quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if I only sell 10,000 bottles of olive oil a year just to maintain
Right.
the quality of the olive oil.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so that's basically the gist because I do truly believe that in order to bottle something worth being that delicious, you have to be strategic.
It's
There's a
awesome.
lot of olive oils out there that claim to be things that they are certainly not.
Totally, totally agree. You mentioned earlier as part of your empire that you're aspiring to build, um, about long-term brand partners, which is something that I've observed. Um,
Yes.
I want on your account specifically, like I feel like so many people would die for that. How does that come to be? I mean, I'm just showing one of these specifically that I loved and actually got a tremendous amount of traction. But like, what did it take to get to this point with? Is it
With
Delalo?
brand partnerships. Yeah, that's Delalo. So Delalo actually, so I hired a new manager last year. And Delalo was someone that I'd always been sort of attempting to secure. And thankfully, my manager, and by the way, their olive oil is fantastic. This was before I even knew I was launching one. Um, I think it moved so fast. But
Yeah,
anyways,
that's
um,
amazing.
I think we created that content like back in April and we posted it in June. But the uh the thing with the Lalo is when you have a fantastic manager who has past relationships, they can really move the marker for you. And she contacted Delalo and shared my profile with them, and immediately they were so excited to work with me. And then now we're in talks for, a larger long-term campaign for this year. So it really, I would say it's about having a fantastic manager, but B, it's about having a good reputation and being consistent in the industry and trying your best to convert really high results for your like the brands that you work with. I have worked with some brands for years. For example, Bob's Red Mill I've worked with for 8 years now,
Mm. Wow.
which is crazy. Better Than Bouillon, I think we'll be going on 3 years. Diamond Crystal Salt on our fourth year or third year. I kind of get confused because the years and then do you count that year? I think it's like the fourth year. But it's just so fantastic to have brands that trust you and just let you be creative and allow you to sort of have your vision and
Yeah.
create. At the end of the day, I would say based on the capacity I have right now, it's about having a really strong manager, being consistent and putting your like your what it, it's not money where your mouth. What is it when you do as you say? Like
Yeah.
be a good
Yeah.
partner. Get the
Right.
shit done. Stay on time. That's what works for me, but I'm kind of a tough love kind of gal and I don't overpromise. I
Yeah.
just try my best to garner the best results possible.
Yeah. And actually, I've been thinking about that because I noticed that some people do, like in this one, you say comment recipe below a DM automation. Um, there's a whole category of people that won't do that on a brand
Yeah,
partner reel.
yeah.
I pulled up this one because I saw there was like almost 8,000 comments, and
Yeah.
help us understand like the conversation around DM automations with brands.
So with brands, I think it creates too much noise and it doesn't allow the brand to actually see the organic conversation happening about that specific brand. So if someone were to comment saying, "Oh my gosh, I love Delalo's olive oil, tomato paste, and orizo," like, thank you so much. Like, you just reminded me I need to restock. That might get lost in the 7,000 comments.
Yeah, of course.
Not to say that every post gets 7,000 comments.
Sure, sure, sure.
I also think that some brands love to see that because then hopefully you're being redirected to a website where the product is being highlighted there.
Yeah,
Or maybe the brand's product name is being, shown in the recipe card. So I think there are benefits to it. I think it honestly depends on the brand, but I would say that from my understanding, it just can create noise and take
yeah,
away from the organic engagement that they've paid you for.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't usually have any issues. I think most of my brands like it, but I think it would depend. I think everyone's different. It depends.
You mentioned some of these long-term partners you've had for years now. Why do you
Mhm.
think they renew?
Uh, I can't speak for them specifically, but if I had to guess, it would be because I become quite close with them. I'm very loyal and I'm really easy to work with. I execute, and not to toot my own horn, but I am incredibly humble.
Yeah,
I'm incredibly easy to work with.
I can see that, and I know
Yeah.
that from working with you.
Thanks.
I
Thanks.
appreciate that. Okay, that's a good insight.
I
The
think at the end
last
of the day, it's just because there's a friendship there, and I mean, I garner good results.
are you like throwing in freebies that weren't really discussed like in the background of this recipe or not really?
Not often. Like sometimes I'll throw it on threads, and I've had some like threads really pop off with like millions of views. It will go on YouTube Shorts. Usually brands will pay me to syndicate to TikTok, so that's not really a
Sure.
bonus. I'm being paid to do that. And then what other platform? That's really it. Like threads and
Yeah.
YouTube. Oh, Facebook is sometimes a bonus, but not really. Like I like to stick to it because I feel like sometimes if you give too much, then I think always just with the kindness of your heart, just kind of posting what you can when you can. But friendship is really important to me with brands. I'm like super protective of some of my brands, not in like a competitive jealous way, but I have worked really hard to create these relationships. So I try to just keep my head down and do the best work I can for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I get renewed.
I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
multi-year brand deals is kind of unheard of, at least from people that I talk to. So you're doing something
That's fair.
right.
That's totally fair.
The last, I'm going to let you go, but I do want to touch on like another seemingly important part of your empire, which is your app.
Yes. Yes.
It was
Oh
the
my God.
first thing that stood out to me when we first started working together. How did you like? You've had the website for 10 years before you launched the app, right? Or close to
No,
it?
so no, so the app isn't like new, but it's been relaunched several times. It's funny that you say that. There's actually a brand new, it's like it got a completely new facelift. It just went
Okay.
live yesterday.
Oh,
But
nice.
so we started the app, I want to say like in 2019 or 18. But I did not know how to promote it back then. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I really didn't start talking about the app properly till like 2021 or 2022.
Interesting.
I've always struggled with, it's not imposter syndrome, because I feel like if it really was, I would find this job like crippling. It's this, I think I struggle most in my business with stories, because
Hmm.
I don't do my makeup every day. I don't do my hair every day. I don't, I put on like a cute like striped sweatpants
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. I like those.
I'm not going out of my way to like, and no shade. I
Yeah,
love people that
of
love life
course.
in that way.
Yeah.
And I sometimes suffer with this whole idea of like, I don't give a shit what I look like, but sometimes I just feel like, especially now with 2.5 million followers, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to put myself out there like that. And I feel like sometimes in order to sell a product or an app or juice or honey, you just got to show up with your damn face. And it's hard for me sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I'm drained, not all the time. The first 2 weeks of a female cycle, I am woohoo. But then, but that's when you're doing the creative things in your business. And then by the time that's over, you're like, shit, I haven't shared about this or that. And like, I just think entrepreneurship is so real. And sharing about the app is something I did not know how to do. And I'm still learning how to do, because there's so many things that I'm working on. And I
Yeah.
feel like I still have so much to learn. I really need to hire like a full-time employee for my app. I really need to hire someone for my products. Like it, but there's, I'm just a girl. Just a girl learning how to run a business.
I mean, maybe that's, later this year is when you start to, yeah,
100%. And I'm just being real with you. Like the app
yeah,
is fantastic. It is
yeah.
so intricate and smart, and it knows how to create recipes from leftovers. It knows
Is it
to,
free
oh,
for people?
it's a 7-day trial, and then I think it's like $5.99 a month. I can send you all the proper
Sure,
information,
sure,
but it's
sure.
incredibly valuable, and it's cost efficient. It's literally less than a coffee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it.
And it's fantastic. Food by Maria is making some shifts on her online website right now, where I am gonna have to unfortunately remove most of my vegan and vegetarian recipes to really niche down. But the app is going to maintain all 1,000 recipes. So it is sort of going to become a place where you can find the OG Food by Maria recipes.
That's really cool. So this is kind of like, instead of a Substack or a membership, you wanted to create this like custom experience for people that actually
For
has a
sure.
lot of value to it, it sounds like.
100%. And I mean, there was no Substack back then.
Right.
But right now, it's looking like I'll probably need a Substack too.
Yeah.
Like it's just, in my heart of hearts, I would say no Substack because I'm tired.
Yeah.
But in 2020, I refused to go on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, I was like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah. You're almost at 1 million followers there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just this whole thing where you have to be proactive and work. And I don't know the right thing anymore. I do know that the app is fantastic. People love it. It is functional. What makes it so different is that it's all there. It's on the click. Oh, has it already been an
Oh,
hour?
yeah. Yeah. We got to wrap.
I'm going to keep doing this forever.
Okay.
No one's going to disturb me. So you're on your phone and it's like, I'm going to cook dinner. Let me put the food by, let me,
Yeah. We can't see. Oh, yeah. 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 We can see. We can see.
let me put the Food by Maria app with a click of my finger. And it's just so freaking easy. All the tags are just as well organized as you see it like on an
Nice.
app on your computer. But what I love about it is that it's there with you forever. You don't need Wi-Fi. It has
Oh, that's
functional
cool.
command.
That's cool.
It has
Yeah.
functional command. You can make your grocery list.
I love
Everything's
it.
super animated and cute. Like the grocery list is really, really cute. It's super
That's
fun.
great.
I could send you a full list of why you need the Food by Maria app, but at the end of the day, it's because it will quite literally make your life easier, and it
Yeah.
will help you plan your life and your recipes with the click of a finger. And
Super
you
smart.
can quite literally be at the grocery store on the Food by Maria app because you don't need Wi-Fi, and I love that. But
Amazing.
I hope
So
that was
much going
helpful.
on. Oh, this is
Yeah, there's
unbelievable.
so
So
much
many
going
good
on.
nuggets.
Okay,
We'll
good.
so thankful that you were able to join. We have to end with one thing, we're going to do a comment for DM. We're going to send them all these amazing things, the app, juice, honey.
Okay.
I also want to include your personal favorite recipe that you have in your collection.
I would say the sheep hen gnocchi, especially since it's Q1. People really like that one. Or even that one that you shared with the Lalo, the
Oh yeah,
sandwich.
that was a good one.
That one's epic.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, do though. Or you like, I wonder if we could send them to the Greek section of the website.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just let's think of some ideas. But I think at the end of the day, the sheep hen gnocchi is epic. The meatballs with the sun-dried tomatoes are also epic. When is it going to go live? It could be it could be one of my stuffed pitas because it's perfect for like Super Bowl.
I was going to say your stuffed pita. It will probably go live in like 2 to 3 weeks. Okay.
Whatever you want. Just touch base with me then and I'll give you a proper link.
All right. Amazing.
Thank you. This is so fun. If you made it this far, you're serious about growing your food empire. Thousands of the top recipe creators use Grocer's List to drive more website traffic, grow their email lists, and earn more through paid memberships. Head to grocerslist.com/podcast to learn more about how we can help you grow, engage, and monetize your audience.